Hey, welcome back, everybody. It's time to meet our community, the Hispanic business community here in Orange County. Powered by the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and Orange County's only community radio station, OC Talk Radio. Streaming live from our studios here at the University of California, Irvine's Beale Applied Innovation Center. With the man, he's always streaming live somewhere. He's going to be on a podcast later today here, John Gutierrez.
Hey, everybody. How's everybody doing? Thank you, Paul. Again, welcome everyone to our community podcast show powered by the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. I'm your host, Senior Vice President at the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. We have a great guest today, our dear friend and superstar member of our chamber, Shelly Padilla, who is with State Farm Insurance. He's an agency owner. She's also our 2021 Estrella Awards chamber winner. And of course, she's a community leader and a proud mother of 3 children. Welcome, Shelly Padilla.
Thank you, Johnny.
So excited to have you here. I know you and I go way back. We've known each other since high school, but I want to let the community know who you are as a person. That's one of the things we like to do at the beginning. Who you are, where you grew up, tell us about your family, your hobbies, and then we'll get a little bit into the whole chamber, your business, and everything you do in the community.
Great. Thank you. Well, first and foremost, I want to thank you, Johnny. I know we go way back from high school and since we were kids, and to the chamber as well for giving me this opportunity to share my story. A little bit about myself. My name is Shelly Padilla. I'm an agency owner with State Farm. My business is located in the city of Santa Ana, where I was born and raised. My parents are immigrants from the great state of Jalisco.
Hey,
yeah,
Jalisco.
Definitely. I have 4 sisters, and I'm a proud mother of 3.
Nice.
I've been in the insurance industry for many years. I have over 25 years experience. I started in the medical insurance and now with my State Farm agency owner.
Good for you. Good for you.
Thank you. I'm also on the Children's Latino Advisory Board for the foundation.
Nice.
That's really what makes me. I'm really passionate about my community.
Yes.
I'm passionate about giving back.
Yes.
And I think it goes back to my humble beginnings.
Yes. And you're also a mentor on the Hispanic 100 Foundation, right?
That's correct. I'm also a mentor for the Hispanic 100, where we mentor young college students.
Yes.
Definitely another one of my passions.
Yes. Hispanic 100 Foundation is also partners with us a lot at the Orange County Hispanic Chamber. And so share with us a little bit about, growing up. I know there's a great story about, was it the oranges or something? Your mom, like you remember it? Share with everybody that great story you've shared with me several times.
Absolutely. I think my humble beginnings and my upbringing with humility and it's what's ignited the entrepreneur in me. Growing up, I was athletic. Sports is what really saved me.
Yes.
That's where I got my discipline, my drive.
Softball. I remember you were a really good softball player, right? You got that good arm.
I was.
Yes.
I was shortstop.
Yes.
And I think from a young age, when you play sports, that discipline, I was MVP, so I was shortstop. So you learn at a young age how to deal with failure, how to deal with success, how to carry a team. Yes. Because it's not about you at that point.
The team concept.
Yes.
And
that was my discipline. That's where I got my discipline. The entrepreneur came from necessity. I used to play sports and I needed cleats and a softball glove, and we were humble. My parents were always working. They didn't give me money. It wasn't like I can go to my parents and say, Mom, I need this.
Exactly.
So I had to figure out how to make some money to buy just my basic necessities for my sports. And I think that's where I learned how to figure things out. So growing up, it's been amazing because everything that I am today, the entrepreneurial spirit, the giving back, comes from my childhood days, coming from the whole disciplinary of sports.
But your mom, you had an orange tree, was
yes.
it? Right?
I was trying to.
Are you trying to avoid?
I was trying to avoid the
Are you
orange?
trying to avoid that
yes,
story?
Yes, I am.
I think it's a great story of, a lot of people talk about when you're young, how to take something and obviously make that dollar or whatever it is, right? And I remember you sharing that story with some of us.
Yes.
I heard it somewhere where you would say, my mom was like, take these oranges and you're going to go sell them. But she was trying to teach you, right?
Yes.
Like how to hustle, how to make that money.
Well, so what I learned at that very young age is we used to have an orange tree and an avocado tree.
Hey, avocados, let me tell you,
And
that's big
avocados
money.
too, they are
That's
big
big money even today. And our
Yes.
producer over here is having an orange. Look at him. There's Paul.
We used to have an orange tree, and I remember that I used to go around to the neighbors and I would sell oranges, and I'd
Yes.
make $1,
Yeah.
couple dollars here, and that's how I was able to buy things that I needed. But as I went along, it was like a business because when I first started, I would I would put I think it was like 30, 40 oranges in this big trash bag, and I'd sell it for $1.
Yes.
And for me, $1 was amazing because I just had these trees sitting back there. I mean, these oranges that were sitting back there.
Yes.
But eventually, I remember my mom came out and she started yelling at me. She said, "¿Qué pasó con todas las naranjas?"
What happened with all the oranges?
And she was saying, "What happened to all our oranges?"
Yes.
Because my mom would always make us fresh squeezed orange juice.
Yes.
And then that's when I started to learn, well, wait a minute, what am I doing? I started going to the grocery store. I started realizing that, 5, 10 oranges were about $1 worth. And here I am giving 20 to 30 away.
Oh, interesting.
So I started learning how to plan. I started realizing, okay, wait, I'm selling way too much. No wonder these neighbors are taking advantage of me because here I am giving away my whole tree and I'm making no money. So by that point, I learned how to plan, how to be effective with my money, how to budget.
Yes.
I learned goal setting, right? And also what I really learned was how to have that confidence
Yep.
because what happened was I went from selling these big old trash bags of oranges for $1 to now just having maybe 5 or 10. So now the
Interesting.
neighbors wanted a nickel and dime me and said, "Oh no, you used to sell me this." Well, at that point I had to learn my value. I had to learn
Yes.
that no means no, and that's okay. I'll find somebody that will buy them from me.
Such a great point. Wow. That is such a great point because sometimes it's so hard for us to like not say, I'm going to move on. Right. And so the problem is that the fact that you were able to have that confidence and not only that, but you were cold calling. If you think about it today in business,
Literally.
you were cold calling people's doors
Yes.
and offering them. So from that, that helped you obviously in the later world of business, right?
Absolutely, because here I am going to all my neighbors and they tell me, "Muchacha, muchacha, ven para acá." They were the ones setting the prices and what I was giving them. And at first I would do that. And then that's when I learned, no is no. And this is what my prices are. And this is what they are. So that ability to be confident and that ability to just know your product and that ability to just deal with individuals. I'm 10 years old. I'm 8, 9, 10, 11 years old. And here I am dealing with adults.
Yes.
That is teaching you a whole lot. And it all, really, really what it taught me was no is no, and that's all it means. It just
Wow.
means to move on and that there will be someone that will want to buy your product eventually. And I did, and that's how I kind of supported myself.
Does your mom know these stories? Like, have you ever talked to her about that? I always wonder, yeah? Does she know that had an impact on you today as a businesswoman?
She does. Now she does. Back then it's funny, when you're doing these things, you're not thinking, "Oh, this is going to pave the way for me to be an entrepreneur one day so I can open a business." These are things that you're doing out of necessity.
Yes.
You're just doing these things to survive and to
Yeah.
pretty much
Survival mode, huh?
survival mode. And
Yes.
at that point,
And you
Our-
wanted that new glove and those nice cleats.
and the cleats. That's all I wanted. So that was my thing. I learned how to goal set. So by doing that, I knew that I needed a glove. So by that, I knew that I had to go out there and make some money so I can get the things that I wanted.
But it's interesting you mentioned sports. We've had a few guests here. They've played sports too. But if you don't play the sports, then maybe you don't hustle as much to, get that new glove or those cleats. So how interesting how they go together, right?
I believe that. Looking back now, that was my drive. That was my driving force to keep wanting more, to keep wanting better. And I realized at that point that I was always an overachiever. I always wanted.
I mean, you were an MVP, you said. That's not just, I want to be on the team. I want to be on the team. Be the shortstop is a pretty serious position, right? In
Yes,
softball,
yes.
baseball.
Yes.
Wow.
So being an overachiever, failure is what really helped me as an overachiever because when you're an overachiever, it's hard to deal with failures because
Yes.
you're always hard on yourself. I'm such a forgiving person. I can forgive anybody, but I had to learn at my ripe age now that how to forgive myself, because when you're an overachiever, I'll forgive everybody except for myself, because for me, I have high expectations.
Really?
So that's helped me as well.
Good for you. Good for you. Do you feel that those high expectations or those, just those standards came from just the way you were up, raised through your parents?
Yes. Looking back, even though we grew up humble, it didn't mean that our parents didn't want better for us. It didn't mean that they didn't have goals for us. So my parents sent me and my 4 sisters to Catholic school because they believed in education, because they believed that they wanted better for us. So although we were humble and we didn't have much, the expectations were there that you needed to be the best, and everything was possible. My father recently passed away, and we were talking about how
I'm sorry to hear that. Yes.
Thank you.
I know. Yeah.
And now that he's gone, it's funny, you really reflect a lot more. And I realized that with my dad's love and the fact that we can come home and just say that we wanted to be a doctor, a lawyer, and my dad said, "Good for you." Just the fact that he acknowledged that it was possible and that it was acknowledged that you can do it,
Wow.
that really pushes you, because
Well,
those
that's-
are words of affirmation.
That's powerful because as Latinos, some of our old school dads sometimes were like, no, you're going to be a housewife or you're going to be this or, not that they were trying to bring us down. It's just they didn't know any maybe different or better
Correct.
during those days. So the fact that your dad was like, yes, you can go do this. You can go be this. That says a lot about your dad.
It does. Because any milestone that we reached, whether it was a raise, whether we got a promotion at work, it was good job, mija. It was that confidence, the pat on the back, and it was kind of like one of those things. Well, of course you got a raise. It was expected of us. So that was a beautiful thing.
Well, I'm sure your dad's very proud of you, Shelly.
Thank you.
I know that we're all very proud of everything you've done. At the chamber here, you, of course, were our 2021 Estrella Award winner. And unfortunately, we were going through so much with the pandemic.
Yes.
And thank you for your patience on all of that until things opened up. We were able to have Estrella Awards and all that. What did that mean to you when you got that call, or, when the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce reached out to you and said, hey, we know you're one of our members, but hey, you're one of our superstars. What was that like for you?
Well, I was definitely humbled, honored, and excited. There was a lot of mixed emotions because it gave me time to reflect. When I got the call, I thought, wow, it was kind of a validation of all the hard work that I've been doing in my community for so many years. And I realized people are watching. People do notice, because for me, it's just a natural thing. For me, it's natural to give back. For me, it's natural to want to give. For me, it's because of my humble beginnings. People helped me along the way. My coaches that gave me cleats or gloves, and I want to do that same thing. So when I got that call, I thought, wow, I feel like doing those things and giving back to our community should be expected of all of us. I think that's it should be a human law, or it should be just something that we should all automatically do as human beings. And that day I just thought, wow, everything I've done, all the sacrifices, it's hard getting up sometimes at 7 a.m. to go to the Hispanic 100 and mentor all these young kids, because I've had a long week and I'm tired.
Yes.
But then I realized it's not about me. It's about these kids and paving the way for them. So being acknowledged for all that work, it was nice. And it was nice.
Well, I know your kids were at the Estrella Awards,
Yes.
right? What was that like to have your children there? Again, you're a mentor to them. You're their mother. What did that mean to you? I mean, what was the reaction of your kids?
So first, I was excited and so forth. But really, that's where my excitement came from, because I was a young mom, and I grew up with my kids, and for me to be able to go up there in front of all these people and leave this legacy behind, that was important to me, because at the end of the day, money doesn't mean anything, right? If you're not leaving a legacy behind, if money's great, we need it to pay our bills and so forth. But fulfilling your passion, giving back, I feel that's where the real joy comes from, the real happiness, the real fulfillment, right? That's what fills my heart. And I want my kids to do the same. I want my kids, when they grow up and they have their careers, I want them to give back. I want them to find a career where they follow their passion, because I believe when you follow your passion and you love what you do, it's going to carry you over for the rest of your life, for the rest of your career. Because after you do something for 10, 15 years, you do something over and over, it becomes boring. But if you love what you do, you don't feel like you work.
Exactly.
So seeing my kids up there, boy, that just brought me tears because they were so excited for me, and I could see the joy in them. And honestly, all that sacrifice that I did because I was young. I was going to school. I went back to college when they were little. So
Been
I
a long journey.
I did. I missed a lot of their games, or I missed a lot of things because I wasn't present. Even though I might have been there, I wasn't there body, mind, and soul. Because I'm a breadwinner. I'm a single mother.
Yeah.
I'm a college student. So it's kind of hard to be their body, mind, and soul when they're little because you're just trying to figure it out and trying to put food on the table. So I appreciated all that.
You bring such a valid point to so many, both women and men who have to raise their children. You can't be at both places at the same time, and for you to realize that, hey, I had to make some sacrifices. That says a lot, and that's why you are an Estrella Award winner, because you've overcome all those challenges. Share with us a little bit about your insurance industry business. What's happening right now with everything going on with the economy, with, of course, the real estate market? What can you share with us? Some insight on what's going on.
Sure. Just like everything else, I think the insurance industry is also experiencing a lot of changes, just like our economy. And right now with real estate, we have rates going up, while insurance as well. Premiums are going up. But I think the good thing about insurance is that the one thing that will never change, that is constant, is that insurance will always be there to help you. And that's the most important thing about insurance. I believe more than ever, it's so important for customers to really review their insurance policies to make sure they're protected in this economy. You want to make sure your paycheck is protected. What do I mean by that? Let's say you're in an auto accident and people are really injured by an accident that you caused. Do you have the right coverages? If you don't have the right coverages, they can go after your assets. They can go after your paycheck. Do you have the right coverages in case of that? It looks like we're heading to a recession. So more than ever, a lot of folks are month to month. So if you do cause damages and they want to garnish your wages or go after your assets, are you prepared for that? And I believe with insurance, having the right type of insurance policies and the right coverages, you will have that peace of mind in case something does happen. We don't want it to happen, but things do happen. You have the right coverages. So I believe more than ever with me and my insurance agency, that's what makes us unique. I'm knowledgeable. I consider myself an insurance expert because I've worked for it. I continue my continuing education. I'm always reading up on new laws.
You were just at the State Farm National
Convention.
Right? That was really, tell us a little bit about that. What was that like?
That was fun. State Farm was celebrating 100 years.
Wow. In Las Vegas?
Yes, in Las Vegas.
What did you learn there? Well, I saw there was some pretty cool celebrities there. Who was there?
We had Jake from State Farm.
Yes,
he's
but
amazing.
Aaron Rodgers, right?
Aaron Rodgers was there.
The Chiefs quarterback was there, Mahomes, right?
Mahomes, yes.
I saw some photos of yours, and but there was a lot of people there.
There was a lot of people, and for me, that's why I felt I love where I'm at. I love what I do. State Farm is the #1 carrier insurance provider in the country, so I feel the fact that, especially right now with, you said, the market changing and so forth, right now finding a company with strength is important, and I know State Farm is there. So I'll definitely be able to, we're going to be there for our customers, whether the market shifts or not. Our position of strength is always going to allow us to take care of our customers.
Well, part of our show is, our community podcast show, but it's so important, community education.
Yes.
Right? And one of the things I heard actually in a meeting yesterday was the gentleman mentioned that he had to change his policy because the risk of being the middle person in an accident, and that there's like a collision between many cars, right?
Sure.
And if one of those cars ends up being like a Lamborghini or a Ferrari or something, and you only have X amount of dollars covering you, then guess what? You might have to come out of pocket to, normally people think, oh, we're just going to pay off this regular, Lexus, whatever car. But when you're having to pay off such an expensive vehicle that's $500,000, the policy does matter, right?
Absolutely.
From my understanding, it was interesting that he brought that up in our meeting.
Yes.
Can you share a little bit about that?
Sure.
That's big, right?
Absolutely. That's what I was just mentioning is I think for a long time, and I'm guilty of this. When I was young, I had a car and I'd buy insurance. I had no idea what liability coverages meant. I just thought you pay insurance and you're covered. And like most people that I hear from that I ask these questions, most people pay for insurance their whole life and they don't even know what it covers, how it works until they're in a car accident. So what's unique about my agency is that we sit down with our customers and we review their auto insurance policies, which is why we make them come in and bring their current declaration pages. We sit down with them, we explain what each coverage means and why it's important to them. Liability coverage is very important because that's the coverage that's going to protect you when you cause harm to others. Even now, it's interesting when you talk about the market and what's changed because of the supply chains of the auto parts are delayed now.
Oh, that's true.
So we've noticed that a lot of body shops are about a month away from just making appointments. So if you're in a car accident today and your car's has major damage, you're probably not going to get your car fixed tomorrow like we're used to. We're so used to our car is damaged and we're going to go drop it off at the body shop tomorrow and it's going to get worked on.
Yes.
Well, now just to get an appointment, it's a month later. So now it's a financial hardship. If a lot of families have one vehicle or two vehicles in our family, in our communities, let's say they have one vehicle and that takes the whole family around. Now their car is
because you can only get maybe so much
rent-a-car coverage.
Right? Coverage, and so
and that's if you have rent-a-car coverage.
That's if you have that.
So
not everybody has that.
No, because
right?
automatic, rent-a-car coverage, towing is not automatic. There is no coverage that's unautomatic. You have to purchase the coverage if you want it. So that's why I think it's important right now where most people need to sit down and review their auto coverages, their home coverages, their renter coverages, because times have changed. Now more than ever, you want the insurance companies to pay out of pocket. You do not want to be paying out of pocket. So if your car's in the shop for a month and you don't have rent-a-car coverage, that's going to be a very, very big cost, and it can cause a financial burden. So why not transfer that risk onto an insurance company? Buy rent-a-car coverage. Towing, now towing's really expensive as well. And I always say it costs as little as $1 a month for you to get towing versus paying $300, $400 just to get one tow. So I tell people we need to think smarter and find ways to save. And if that's going to be, adding coverages, bundling your auto. So meaning if you want to, now you can start adding your auto and your home together to get that discount. And when you get that discount, what you can do is with that same savings, add coverage that you need. So that way you're not spending more, you're just taking advantage of those discounts.
Well, I think you bring up some great points. And again, I know we're doing a lot of community education here because you're in that industry. And I know you mentioned this morning at a networking event, for example, with all these fires, right?
Yes.
Now more people are looking at fire insurance for their homes. And I can imagine during the pandemic, people dying at a young age of COVID, after the fact, maybe realize, wow, life insurance is so important, right?
Yes.
Because a lot of people didn't think it was that important, but so many people passed away during the pandemic. So I'm sure all these are new issues. I'm getting the 5-minute mark over here from the producer, but anything you would like to just say, your final kind of like, what would you say to your mentees that are listening, to your staff? The floor is yours, Shelly.
Well, I would end it with, first, foremost, thank God for everything. I'm a woman of faith. And everything that you do, God has to be in your heart. He has to be your foundation if you want to get through life, because life's going to hit you in all different kinds of directions. I've learned that through my humble beginnings and all the life lessons. So all the life lessons that are going to come to you, they're growth pains.
Yeah.
And they're growing pains.
Yes.
And with that, you got to take the positive out of it, because that's what's going to make you grow. That's what's going to take you to the next level. If you learn the life lesson in them, because that's just what makes you stronger and better.
Well, I want to thank you for being out here, because that is such a great message with so many people right now fearing the recession, all these challenging times, the economic issues that we're facing. And I want to thank you for being on our show, Shelly. Thank you so much for being that community hero that we know you are, always supporting our Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, always sponsoring different events that help our community. And before we go, folks, I just want to add real quickly, follow us on social media, of course, for the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce at OCHCC, which is our Instagram, or also on our Facebook page, Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. We also have our golf tournament coming up on August 30th. So please reach out to us if you want to be involved, a sponsor, or be part of course, the golf tournament, which raises money for scholarships for our high school and college students that we mentor. And visit our website, ochcc.org, and visit our job board if you wish. So, Shelly, thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thank you, John, and thanks to the Chamber.
Everybody tune in next Wednesday, and thank you for being on our community podcast show where your community is our community.
Well, there you have it. Another great example of why you should tune in each and every week to meet our community, the Hispanic business community right here in Orange County. Powered by the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and Orange County's only community radio station, OC Talk Radio. Streaming live from our studios here at the University of California, Irvine's Beale Applied Innovation Center.